Hello, Namaste. I am Hani Kitani, co-founder and COO of 10,000 Startups India, which is a platform for startups from idea through IPO stage for fundraising, virtual incubation, and acceleration. Here we are with another exciting episode of Startup Showcase by 10KSI, where we discuss everything about entrepreneurship, its challenges, and behind the scenes of startups from founders themselves. I would like to introduce to you Ms. Seema Gupta, founder of Racknsell, with 20 plus years of multi-industry experience in leadership positions in GE, Deutsche Bank, Delphi, Genpact, Indus Towers, etc. Deep domain knowledge of sourcing and supply chain, certified MBB, led sourcing operations, transitions, and sales, as well as business transformation. Hi Seema, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for the introduction, Honey, and pleasure to be here talking to you.
So glad to have you on board. So Seema, do tell me, a little bit about, you and how did you start Racknsell? What inspired you?
Okay, so let me start with my introduction, quick thing about me. So I'm born in middle-class family to parents who were simple, optimistic, who valued education, were very helpful to the others and high on integrity. And I guess those are the values that I imbibed as I grew. Additionally, they gave me full freedom to do what I wanted to do in life and, always supported me in my endeavors. So in terms of education, I had my schooling in Delhi and I went to Delhi College of Engineering, from where I did my BE Electrical. After completing degree, while I wanted to do MBA, but my need was to be financially independent and that need was quite stronger. So I picked up a job through campus interview and later enrolled in FMS Delhi University for part-time MBA. So my office was in Gurgaon and I used to have my daily evening classes in North Campus, which is quite a distance. So, I used to do it daily basis, travel at that point in time. Since then, I've moved around jobs and places and had a very fulfilling career. So that's about me. Like as a person, as I said, I'm like optimistic yet practical, person with few friends, but have very strong bonds with those friends. Like connecting to like-minded people, very execution focused, and simple, and value integrity. So that's and the value that I cherish the most is freedom. Freedom to do what I want to do. So I've been, as you just read out my quick biodata, I have been into job for 20 plus years. In fact, if you ask me when did it first occur to me, that was, I think, a couple of years in the job, when I thought about doing something which was more by not, I didn't understand the word entrepreneur then. I didn't understand the word e-commerce then. But it was like, I was fascinated with the work that the artisan and handicrafts used to do and, the limited market outreach that they had. And I was like, we should have a platform where they can reach out to somebody, people outside India and stuff like that. But as flimsy it sounded at then, it kind of fizzled out. Then, when I left my last job and I was, deciding that what sort of job I should pursue, it was then I thought, I'm kind of done with it. I have to do something on my own. So that's how this whole thought started. It took me a couple of months. I dabbled with certain ideas, penned down certain thoughts, and then, I decided to do something which is built on my strength, which is in sourcing and supply chain. And that's how Racknsell was born.
Amazing. And I think the fact that you mentioned the liberty that you received at an early age, that is something which is very important for any woman entrepreneur for that matter. And amazing story, very inspiring. So tell me more, what is Racknsell and what do you feel, is unique about it?
Sure. So, so as I said, it's built on the experience that I had. So one of the, the thing that when I was heading sourcing functions in large companies and bank also, Technical sourcing used to be a pain point for us, and when I thought about doing this, it was to solve the pain points of a company, of a medium to large size companies, as to how they source material, and what are the various challenges that they have in supply chain, how to bring that transparency and execution focus in the whole thing. So Racknsell is essentially an e-commerce platform, which is catering to in the B2B environment, to any and every office needs that may exist, which could be in terms of building maintenance, it could be marketing and promotional material, or it could be just simple stationery and housekeeping. So anything that a building needs to run their operations is what we endeavor to be. So that is in terms of e-commerce, but we also want to we have a product called BuyDesk, which is to provide the smart workflow tool for the organizations to manage the whole process. So that's so we want to be in top 3 in the categories that we choose to be, and we want to have this intelligent workflow solution deployed across the organizations. That's what we want to be.
Amazing. So tell me, your biggest achievement in Racknsell, or anywhere in your life for that matter.
Yeah, I think it's very difficult to point out one single thing. You've gone through so many ups and downs. But okay, let me talk about Racknsell. So when we started, we just formed the company, and even before we formed the company, or we registered our company, had the GST registration and all that, we had a client on board. Okay, and from there, the first 2 years had been tremendous, because just by word of mouth, and we have never spent money on marketing, but just by the work that we were doing, reaching out to the word of mouth that spread from people, we were able to have 2x growth in the first year itself. So that was very satisfying to see that people are coming back to you because they were happy with the services. They liked what you were doing. So that gave the confidence also, that this is something which should work as we go forward. So I would say that in the Racknsell, and then there have been many successful things. The fact that 70% of the organizations are associated with us from almost from first year till now, that gives kind of immense satisfaction.
So glad to hear that you received such amazing response at the initial stage of Racknsell. And I'm sure there must be a lot of people that were supporting you at the time and currently. So do tell me more about the team of Racknsell.
Sure. So as we started, I started alone. Because I was the founder of the company. But the very first need that I had was to have a tech person working with me on this. Now the venture was bootstrapped for most of the time, so I never had the luxury of money to bring people on board and create a team like that. But yes, somebody introduced me to our tech partner, and he has been associated with me since the beginning. And I think he has been, so though he runs his own independent company, but he has been, working with me almost like a, very important resource, not only helping me, not only developing the software and stuff for me, but also, platform to bounce back and, see what new things are happening and stuff like that. So I would say that. Then the angel investor, while he's actively not involved in it, but whenever we meet, his motivation, he tends to motivate me and stuff like that. So I guess that's important too. And then I would say the teams that I have, so I would say that I have not hired I would say that I build a talent. I've not hired a talent. Right? So many of the people that I have are associated with us from intern. They joined as intern and they have grown with us, with the organization. So it's sales, in operations, in finance. So many of them have joined, have been there, from day one, almost from first year, joined as intern and have grown in the organization. So I've seen them growing, learning, and stuff like that. So that's what I would say is helping us, helping us and keep us going.
Amazing. I think that's so beautiful that your core team is with you all the time till date. That is amazing. And it's also good to see how your angel investor is also your support system. And do tell me, how did you meet your angel investor?
Okay, so I would say that he was a friend because he and I were engineering batchmates. So it wasn't that he was unknown to me. But yeah, I mean, like, so it's just that once, so it's not that we were very regular in our meeting or discussions and stuff like that, but we were friends. But it was just that once I happened to bounce to him what I was doing, and I was looking for capital because at that point in time it was bootstrapped, and we needed some capital to scale up and stuff like that. We had couple of discussions and stuff like that, and then he bought into the idea. And then he went ahead with the investment.
Amazing. So speaking about investments, what would you say is the importance of money at the moment for Racknsell or for you?
See, money very important at this point in time because we are beyond the MVP. We have clients, paying clients, we are earning money, and all that is there. But whatever we have developed, we need to launch like a 2.0 for it. One, to scale up. Secondly, to attract talent also. We need to have that execution thing, so we need to attract talent. And third thing is to invest in marketing ourselves and reaching out to more people, both in terms of supply side as well as demand side. And if you want to add velocity to all these efforts, so to launch our technology, improve our technology solution, launch it independently as SaaS, hire the right kind of talent, and then market ourselves, we do need capital for that. All of these things.
Amazing. Absolutely. So tell me more. So for example, you have received the amount of funding that you are seeking, and then what? What is the future plan for Racknsell?
So the two things, as I said in the beginning. One is that we want to scale up our e-commerce platform. So obviously we need to do a lot of enhancements, improve UI, UX and all that from technology point of view, but also we need to bring in more suppliers on board, more categories or relevant products on board, for doing that. So that will be our one focus, to manage the whole supply, onboarding, content building and distribution, around that in the categories that we choose. The other thing is on the buy desk. So while we have few customers using the buy desk, but we want to, we've developed a lot of unique features in enhancement that we're using it for ourselves. We want to launch it as an independent SaaS product. So that's gonna be, how do we, launch buy desk as a SaaS product? That's going to be our another focus. And in between these two, of course, then how do we do the whole sales and marketing bit? So that's where the capital will get used for.
Amazing. I love the clarity that you have with respect to your future plans for Racknsell. So Seema, tell me, how did it affect Racknsell or the platform that you're working on during COVID situation, or did it not?
See, when the COVID started, which was in 2020, around that point in time, we actually had a surge of demand because when the offices were, at that point in time, things were not clear and offices were, wanting material in terms of safety, hygiene and stuff like that. So that month was actually one of our best months for that matter. But then the offices started closing down, and that offices were our prime target at that point in time in terms of existing customers. So when there was a complete shutdown of operations, then and very limited or essential staff only was working, then the demand did come down, and even the requirement came down to only those categories which are related to safety and hygiene. So I would say we were impacted, but we were afloat. It was never that we had, because our unit economics have always been positive, and we've been very frugal in terms of the way we spend money. So we survived that period, and once the offices started opening up and stuff like that, then the demand started coming back and the people started coming back.
Amazing. So Racknsell survived the COVID era, as well as ultimately it was a savior for other people, delivering those supplies which are very much essential which were very much essential and urgent at that time.
Absolutely.
So do tell me, today you are with me discussing on this platform of Startup Showcase. What more do you expect from this program with 10KSI?
So I think it's been very interesting journey so far with you guys. So and thank you for everything that you guys have been doing in this particular space. Then going forward, I would say that ability, your platform could help me connecting with people, which could be investors, which could be advisors, which could be mentors, or which could just be talent, who may want to come with me. So that's where I see your platform helping, giving some publicity or visibility rather to what Racknsell is doing, and helping us connect with people in these kinds of domains, so which helps us further grow and in the area that we want.
I have a few more questions. I think amazing conversation and went really well with the flow. And thank you so much for acknowledging our work for startups and this industry.
Oh no, of course you are doing so. It is absolutely, I'm not staggering. It's the reality.
Thank you. Yeah, so continuing to the fact, not the fact, in fact, your very kind words for 10,000 Startups India. Thank you so much, Seema, for that. And from the very first day, I hope you remember, I am very much inspired with your journey, with the kind of work that you've been done till date, and with the kind of work you're doing with Racknsell. So do share your success mantra to all other aspiring entrepreneurs out there as well, if you can share that.
Yeah, why not? I would actually share in two parts. One is, what works well, and few things, which I now realize I should have done differently, so that should help. So one is that, I guess, end of the day, you have to be customer focused, in terms of whatever you're trying to build. I personally feel if there is something that you're building which nobody is ready to pay for, then you should rethink about what you're doing. So you should scrutinize, from that perspective, whatever you're trying to build, how does it impact or change, whoever your target customer is, their life. That's one thing I would say. Secondly, I would say execution focus. It's absolutely important to be consistent and focused on the execution. So because there would be ups and downs, certain times the factors are completely out of your control. For example, the way the COVID happened, it was in nobody's control, but we just consistently, low profile, kept performing, doing a little bit of things that we could do. So I think consistency is more important than having those peaks and stuff like that of excitement. So be consistent. Third, I would say entrepreneurship is a long haul. One should imagine or look for instant gratification. That I don't think that happens, and one should look for that. So when you are in, that's why it's very important to have complete alignment in your mind that what is it you want to do, because there will be times when you will be down and out. So unless you're very clear as to what you want to do, then that's how you'll keep going. So it's not for so it's a long haul. You have to put in a lot of effort. It's a lot of effort to keep it going. So one should be ready for that kind of stuff. And if you were to ask me, what I would do, few other learnings that I had in my this thing was that the product thing that I talked about. While I was very clear about the product from day one, what I want to do, but I don't think I worked on the complete strategy around it, in the sense that how much money would I be needing, what sort of sales and marketing I should be doing, that would be needed, so those kind of things I didn't think through. I thought, oh yeah, this is a product, it's needed, and we'll figure out as we go along. So but if I were to redo this, I would think about those points as well. As to how do I reach out to my target customers, how do I distribute my product and stuff like that. The other thing I would say that I've been alone when I kind of started it, and then people came along, but yes, if you can have founders or co-founders who are like-minded and have complementary skills, I think it gets slightly easier. So that if you can, then you should try for that.
Absolutely. Such amazing and insightful words, Seema. And before we move on, I would really like to ask this one question with you, because you and we are both women entrepreneurs, and I'm just now, have started my entrepreneurship journey, and you've been in this since a very long time. So I really want to learn from your end, how much challenging do you feel it is for women entrepreneurs, or for any woman, for any kind of work for that matter out there? How much challenging is it, or is it not, as compared to the men out there?
I wouldn't say it's not. It is, more challenging for the women. For this very simple reason that you don't have that kind of network around, right? Which may exist for men. And and there are many avenues for men to bond as compared to women, right? So I guess that's the key difference, because your reach, your network may not be of the same level or magnitude as the men have the access to. So that's the only thing. But other than that, I think and I've been been in jobs before and all that. Other than that, I think it's the only limit could be the women themselves. Actually, I think we don't ask enough, we don't demand enough. There are cultural biases that exist, in terms of if you are very work focused and stuff like that, then you would be labeled by different this thing that has happened. But having said that, I also feel I didn't do that enough, and I see more females. I've had team members, males and females, and I could easily compare. The men would come and demand and ask, but when it comes to women, they are very always they're not asking and demanding what they deserve or what they need and what they want. So I think that sometimes becomes a limiting factor for women to grow further in their career. So that's here how I would put it. Yes, because the network, we don't network that well, or maybe I'm personally speaking, or there aren't too many female faces around you whom you can look up to or can get connect with and stuff like that. That does limit the effect that you can have from your own network as well.
True. Thank you so much for sharing that, Seema. And on that note, thank you so much for joining us today, and really insightful session. I thoroughly enjoyed our conversation, and do let me know, how did you feel?
Absolutely, it was very good talking to you, Hani, as always. And I've told you before also that you ask very good questions. You're a very good anchor for that matter. And I would say, yeah, so I enjoyed my session. And I mean, as you're starting your journey as an entrepreneur, I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Have a good day.
You
Bye.
too. Bye bye.